The only thing we can do as believers is to share the truth, to speak the truth, to hear the truth, to listen to the truth, to believe the truth that John is trying so desperately to get across to us in this passage. And what is that truth? Here it is. The light of Christ pierces your darkness, and the darkness can't hide it. Listen, the darkness can hide a lot of stuff. It can hide the songs that you sing. It can hide your Hallmark movie specials that you try to get in your heart and into your mind. It can hide the trips to see the lights, all of that stuff. It can even hide the joy that you see on your kid's face when they get the new game that they wanted for Christmas. The darkness of this world can overwhelm that. But no matter how hard darkness tries in your life, it cannot defeat the light that comes from that baby in the manger. That's it. That's the truth. Jesus was not born into a world of holiday cheer. I don't know if you know that. He was not born into a world of festive displays. Jesus was not born into a world of goodwill towards other people. Jesus was born into a world of inhospitable innkeepers and paranoid murderous kings and hopelessly depressed and oppressed and absolutely miserable people. In other words, Jesus didn't enter the fake world that we create for ourselves every holiday season. That isn't what John is writing about. Jesus entered the world as it is, with all of its gloom and all of its darkness, the exact same one so many of you are dealing with this morning. And I want to remind you of what Jesus encountered when he got here. What did he encounter? See if this sounds familiar for any of your stories. He encountered the sting of a loved one's death. Jesus dealt with that. He dealt with the heartbreak of a close friend's betrayal. That's what Jesus dealt with. He dealt with the fatigue of keeping up a personal mission or a personal business, if you want to call it that. Does this sound familiar for any of you? He dealt with the vengeance of people who absolutely despised him. He dealt with the backlash of all of those smarties that seemed to know so much than him. And Jesus himself actually suffered the pain of dying, being tortured to death, something we haven't dealt with yet. This is what Jesus dealt with when he came into the world. In other words, he breathed our air, he walked our sod, he cried our tears, he felt our anger, he wrestled with our temptations, and he felt the sting and the hurt of saying goodbye to someone that he loved. Do you know what John is saying to you? What John is saying to you right here is that this season, God has come to be with you. I want you to make sure you grasp that. The God of eternity, go back to John 1, the magnificent creator of all things knows you by name personally, and this season has chosen to come and be with you. And he's even more specific than that. I mean, this is mind-boggling as it is. But John is saying that Jesus isn't here in spite of your suffering. Jesus is here to share in your suffering. Jesus is not here in spite of your loneliness. He is here to remind you that no matter how lonely you feel, if he is in your life, you will never be alone. Jesus is not here in spite of your darkness. He's here to obliterate it, to shatter it in a way that you can't even fathom or imagine. The best paraphrase of John 1:5 is this right here. You have never seen light like this. You can't comprehend it. And darkness doesn't stand a chance, not against the light of Christ.